Anyway, my name is Will J. Bradley. I'm with Herfy Derfy, and shoutouts to our tracker today, Blastag. Welcome, everyone. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Looks like we're off right away. Both the runners starting in two different locations. We see both the Sanctuary and Link's house not really having anything of importance. Looks like Prier is deciding to head down to escape, probably checking out the uncle and maybe what the tree pole has for him. SpootyBiscuit, on the other hand, looks to be making the standard route up to the lumberjacks, maybe checking out the tree pole there and then making his way over to the Lost Woods.
I'm sorry, guys. A quick correction. There's still a race after this. I'm sorry. Mistakes were made. I just got so excited. I got really excited. So my bad. Anyway, starting off strong. Secret passageway holding a lantern and a glove.
Yeah, that's a very good start. No more dark rooms for these guys. At least not for Prier.
Yeah, it's always refreshing to get that out of the way, because a lot of the times, you know, even like just the sewer section in Hyrule Castle will be skipped by most players if they don't have a light source. Because they're like, it's kind of a pain. I don't really want to do that right now.
Yeah, it's easy to run into enemies and lose the 3 hearts that you have really quickly without even noticing. And as you say, it's just kind of annoying to run around down there in the dark and try to find the mouse with the key and all that stuff. Just a bunch of arrows from the tree.
Alright. Arrows from the tree, that's the tier 1 pull, I think. And then only hearts from the bush crab so far. So good information to have from the get-go, but unfortunately no bombs or rupees from either of those so far.
Yeah, we see Prier is 1 rupee in the lead.
That counts. I mean, we don't really know who's in the lead yet, so we might as well go by rupee counts at this point.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, and for those asking, this is the Santa Link on Prier's screen. So it's a little confusing because that is the green tunic. Don't get confused. And then the blue tunic turns him blue, and I don't actually remember what the red tunic does. But on SpootyBiscuit's side, we saw a medallion at the maze race.
Yeah, and he has 2 bombs, so he's definitely going to pick that one up. We obviously don't know yet if it's going to be required, but better to have it than to miss it in the end.
Yeah, and especially if it was Bombos, which is what I thought it was, then that could also be used as a fire source for Ice Palace and Ice Palace alone, if we get to that point. A little early to tell. It is. All right. First medallion. For anyone also showing up just now, the lantern and glove are in the secret passageway with the uncle. So that is also one of those locations that sometimes players will route later, potentially after they've gotten a sword or something, or some sort of weapon so that they can do Hyrule Castle at the same time.
Yeah, we see Prier pulling out the flippers here from Thief's Hut, or Blind's Hut, I guess. So no more fake flipper in either.
Nope. With that in mind, I wonder if these players will really start to consider their rupee counts and Zora, or continue to put that off, because Zora is now 100% completely available.
Yep, they can check everything around that area. Right now, with their rupee count, they're probably not really thinking about it yet, but depending on what else they pull out here.
Oh, and see Spooty going for the little bombable shack down the bottom corner to farm bombs as opposed to purchasing them. While Prier picking up another medallion, or the other medallion we've seen so far.
2 medallions, not even 5 minutes in. That's pretty good.
There's a cape as well, and an ice rod.
Jeez.
Still no swords. Ice rod's kind of nice though, because you can use that in Hyrule Castle to kill the blue guards in 1 hit. But
yeah.
Not the green guards. It'll freeze the green guards, so...
Yeah, but you can do the best tactic ever and freeze the green guard and throw it. Oh, what the...
There's the other medallion!
What is happening here?
I was just about to say, you know, it's always funny whenever you get all your tunics before you get a sword, or all the medallions before you get your first sword. Well, we got one of those experiences, so... I gotta say, though, as a racer, I would be very satisfied at this point. But But then, at the same time, there is always that possibility of getting Pendant Mire and Pendant T-Rock.
Yeah, it's definitely something that always happens when you get an easy start like that for something. Or if you find like an early cape and that early ice rod, you probably won't have to go into Turtle Rock. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't believe we've even seen a map check from either player yet, so we don't even know. It could be all pendants in the light world, which is a rare sight to see, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, every now and again it happens.
Yeah, it's surprising for going through all of Kakariko how lacking of rupees there's been so far. I mean, there's a 20, but that's about it.
Yeah, so far... Sorry, go ahead.
Where are those big 300s, Herfy? Where are they?
Well, I didn't steal them.
Well, that's good. I wasn't accusing you, but that's good to know.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded a little accusatory, but...
What, just because I threw your name in there?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. I don't know.
Herfy, calm down. Calm down. You're not playing the game. You're not in charge.
Yeah, that's
I was
true.
I was the one that handed out the seeds, so...
Oh, so you stole them? Is that
the
what
seed
you're
which I know nothing about. I just picked
Mhm.
up on the list. Don't look at me. I didn't do nothing. If the seed's bad, don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot him.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to root for you here. You're not the one who created these. You're just handing them out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Good. All right, Prior gonna go ahead and check the back of Escape. I wonder if we'll see a Houlihan Cave from either of these players. You know, it's a little bit of a time sink for free 225 rupees, but until we find at least one big 300, there's that one big 300. All right, we are good now. Houlihan is now dead, maybe.
Yeah, even though, I mean, at this point, wouldn't you be even more inclined to do Houlihan? Because then you get the Zora money and you already have the flippers.
Well, one way to consider it is... Oh, no!
Oh.
Okay, so apparently you freeze the mice as well. It's gonna have to use bomb strats. Oh, and he killed the wrong one. At least the other one stays frozen.
He does get 8 bombs from it, though, so that's not too bad, at least.
Worked out in the end. As for the whole Houlihan thing, you know, you gotta wonder, like... You got options, you have the glove, you could even route in a trip to Agnes Cave. Oh, man, a hook shot.
Oh,
well,
that's a good find.
As soon as Prior gets that, he's going to have that Death Mountain on his mind, because he has the access to all of Death Mountain. At least to get up there and then get to the right side.
Yeah, and that's quite a couple items, so you might be right on that.
Yeah, as for rupees for Zora, I would kind of hope that I find another 300 or something maybe in Mini Moldron Cave. But if all else fails, there's also the route to Agnes Cave, and there's that little rupee cave that you can farm 50 rupees at over and over.
Yeah, I think the hookshot will probably also change my mind. I guess without the hookshot, I might not think about Death Mountain just yet. So maybe I'd do it, but with the hookshot, they should definitely get up, or at least Prior should get up there. I wonder when Spooty's gonna check the uncle, because if he doesn't check him anytime soon, he's gonna miss out on a pretty important item for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll check it relatively soon. But with flippers in hand, I wonder if he'll still go ahead and do Hobo, Waterfall, all that jazz. Yeah, Mini Moldron Cave only having a couple hearts, a bug net, the most important item, and a single green rupee. So no big 300s this time.
Let's see if the Ice Rock Cave can deliver. Not really, I guess.
Man, what is up with these bomb drops lately? We had... Oh man, it was like there was a seed the other day where tons of enemies were dropping 20s. Just non-stop 20s. Nothing but 20s everywhere. Now, today, it seems to be the 8 drop.
I think I was commentating a seed yesterday or 2 days ago where the stun drop was 4 bombs. That was really convenient.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's always worth noting what the stunned enemy drop is, because especially when you get an early hookshot like this, it's kind of an option. We still need a sword or some sort of nice weapon. All right, picking up a blue tunic from the waterfall fountain. Spooty only going to be able to check what's on the ledge, and then going to have to bail out.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad check, but it always feels kind of bad when you come up here and then don't have the money and can check everything off the list.
Yeah. But it looks like, based on what we've seen so far, Prier's not going to have the money for it either.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the seed's been a little bit stingy, except for that one 300 in the back of Escape. As you said, we've seen that one red rupee, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we have seen seeds before that actually force you to farm rupees in order to progress, where Zora ends up being the last progression item. So it's highly possible. And we see a very quick map check. I caught Crystal 6 at Eastern and Crystal 7 at Hera, but I did not see what Desert was.
Yeah, I only caught the Eastern Crystal. That was way too quick for my brain to compute.
You know, that's if I had one complaint, like I love keeping the original aesthetics of the map, but the fact that like the crystals and pendants kind of blink sometimes make it hard for us commentators to catch it, depending on how long the map's open. It's like it blinks and then you miss if it's a 5 or a 6. You can see the crystal, but
yeah, it's a little bit hard sometimes, especially with how quick some people check the map. I always take a little time just because I mark it off on my tracker and I'm terrible at remembering things. But some people have like photographic memory or something.
I mean, my eyes are probably not as strong as they once were after staring at a computer monitor or a TV for as much as I do. So, all right. Well, this is good for Spooty. He's now caught up completely with Prier. Can easily see. Oh, is he gonna go for the Hyrule play? I mean, he's got the bombs to do it, and it's even easier when you have some sort of stunned or ability to stun the enemies, so they don't get away from your bombs.
Yeah, definitely not the worst choice here.
I mean, the only thing he missed in the back of Escape was 300 rupees. Now, I would like to see some sort of sword down here for Spooty.
Yeah, sword would be nice for them to have, definitely.
Now, just think, if either of these players had Houlihan first, how different of a game it'd be. Could have gotten that Zora item right off the bat, so maybe Houlihan isn't dead yet. Oh, nice. Another stunned enemy. Or stunned weapon. Oh, and it looked like Spooty was trying to set up a bomb, the first bomb to bomb him into the second bomb.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks sometimes. But being able to stun the enemies definitely helps with bombs.
Alright, what are we going to find over at Sahasrara? Would be nice if they also talk to the old man, find out where that green pendant is.
Yeah, that's all.
It's a quick check, right?
Yeah, it's not really a waste of time.
It's good information. You could start kind of routing early. Start scheming. Oh, wow, there it is.
Okay, there's the sword.
And our first bottle in Escape.
Yeah, that makes it possible for Spooty to check the sick kid. The sword in hand, it looks like Prier is probably gonna follow in Spooty's footsteps here, making his way down to Zelda's cell.
And that sword alone is going to allow him to catch up a little bit more. Though, or at least allow him to catch up clearing Hyrule Castle a little bit more. A little bit easier than having to wait for those bombs to explode.
Yeah, definitely.
So now
On set, Spooty isn't freezing that green guard with the ice rod and throwing it at the ball and chain guy.
You know, I don't think he's setting up for a death warp, otherwise he would have taken more. Oh, wow, there's the Moon Pearl. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Aga Tower's looking pretty good right now, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking that, or that check of Death Mountain. I think that's where Spooty's headed right now.
I mean, at this point, we are one item away from getting to the Dark World. Either a hammer or another glove. Now, more often than not, these players will try and do everything they can to not go to Agate Tower. But, you know, they could do all of Death Mountain and find nothing. They could go into Eastern and find nothing. Sick Kid has nothing. And it ends up being Agate Tower anyway. And with the weapons, or the items that they have, they can go up and hookshot across the Broken Bridge to get to West Dark World. To get over to Skull Woods and Thieves, or Village of Outcasts, so...
Yeah, that's very true. It's definitely something they should be considering, and I'm sure ever since they found that cave, it's in the back of their mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this part of the run is always a little kind of stressful, because you're like, I don't want to do Aga if I don't have to, but I don't want to spend too much time doing Overworld if I'm required to go through Agate Tower. So.
Yeah, you don't want to waste time picking up more red rupees and heart pieces, but I don't know. I feel like East Death Mountain and the whole of Death Mountain is kind of a worthwhile area to check. You'd probably be going up there anyway at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, maybe without really... Well, I guess I got the bombos, but Fighter Sword Agate Tower is just no fun.
No, I can't agree with that. They could try and get like some magic refill and use one of their fancy medallions to clear some of the harder rooms. But hey, it looks like we're going to be getting a little bit of a route divergence. Oh man, prior going back and checking the bottle vendor. Forgot that he hadn't done that. And going to check the Sick Kid as well. This could be our answer. Or it could be on Death Mountain. Ooh.
Oh.
Just a big 20.
20 bucks from the Sick Kid. Let's see if the old man has anything.
Is this the play? Is Prior making the play? No way! Yes, wait, Eastern. That was the play. Okay. Because at this point, they have Death Mountain. They have Agnes Cave. They have Eastern. Or they have Agate Tower. Or Zora. Can't forget him.
Oh yeah, of course. Still an option. Alright, I think it's interesting to see that both our runners are deciding on different ways to route this out. It's not really a wrong or a right way, I think.
Nope. Unfortunately for Spooty, gonna be missing out on that sword for a little while longer. Who knows, he might find his own sword up here.
Very true. And if they do find a Master Sword and nothing else, that definitely screams Agate Tower to me.
Hmm. Alright, who's gonna find that progression item first? Who is it gonna be? Or is it gonna be neither?
Alright, half magic. Not really a progression item, but still something that you don't mind having. Especially with 3 medallions and an ice rod in your inventory. Eastern Palace, meanwhile, just making it more exciting, putting on the dungeon items early on.
Ooh, silver arrows too. Man.
Oh,
Half magic and silvers. That's a nice early combo.
Yeah, so far this is the upgrade cave. Okay, nothing else.
Yeah, we got Spiral Cave left. And hopefully he'll get a peek at what's on top of the floating island and find out if that's going to be something he's going to come back to later.
There's the red rupee in Eastern.
This is looking like an Agassi.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like it.
Alright, both players, only one item left, and both of them are a bit of a walk. Now, the funny thing would see both these players swapping sides. Prior going up to Death Mountain and Spooty heading over to Eastern Sahasrahla.
Yeah, I'm not sure how exciting we could make that, but we try.
I could definitely see Spooty doing that. Prior might go straight for Aga, because the sword is kind of a big difference maker in wanting to do Aga Tower or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without a sword, you can't even really do it.
Well, looks like Prior's going to get to the chest first. We're going to find it from him. What do we got? Oh, there it is.
Okay. That's an Aga.
2 big swords in the Eastern Palace area. That's hilarious. Oh, Spooty he's going for... It looks like he's setting up the other Houlihan option. Bombing yourself into the graveyard. So he's set for... he's all set for Zora.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. And Prior seems to be set for Agnena's cave, so that's his last option. I mean, obviously he can still go to Death Mountain, but it's his last option to show us something new.
Yeah, these players really do not want to do Aga Tower. And I do not blame them.
Yeah, you definitely want to avoid that, but at the same time, as you said earlier, you don't want to be checking everything and find out that you have to do it and you just wasted like 10 or 15 minutes doing weird overworld spots.
Yeah, but at the same time, you'll probably end up doing those anyway, after Aga Tower regardless.
Yeah, I feel like especially with Death Mountain and Eastern being a crystal, you would have gone in there anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And a Master Sword is nice to have for Aga.
And just, you always want to kind of, so to speak, prioritize checking Light World stuff before diving too far into Dark World stuff, just because if you put it off for too long and that ends up being where the next item was, then you're going to be hurting even more.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I'd say if this was like version 18, our players would already be in the Dark World right now and not hanging out in the Light World. But all right, Zora, what do you got for us? Hammer, 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 hammer. Aw, that's... Oh, the hard reset.
Yep, doesn't want to spend his money.
Good plan. Now, for those wondering, yes, that is allowed. It's completely fine. Players want to reset, save their rupees. That is part of it.
Alright, and it looks like what you were saying earlier is happening exactly. Prior up on Death Mountain and Spooty making his way over to Sahasrahla and then probably Eastern Palace.
I wonder if Prior is going to go for Zora as well to even things up. I mean, he went all the way over Agnena's cave, so I could easily see him going to Zora as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a second Houlihan.
Spooty grabbing his first sword. And if he goes inside Eastern, this is what it looks like he's going to do. He's going to find his second sword. Oh, he's thinking. Oh, man. This is that part. It's the part of the race where you're like, what's my opponent doing? He's probably already doing Aga right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just leaves once he picks up that Master Sword. But on the other hand, I mean, with how hard they've been trying to avoid Aga, he might not want to leave anything behind.
Well, and we've also seen a lot of really valuable stuff, a very valuable Eastern Palace in the past, so...
Yeah, that's very true.
One item. They just need one item of 2 items to get into the Dark World. They either need a hammer or they need a glove. So...
Yeah, I'm expecting Prior to probably... Well, it depends on if he does go to Zora or not. Otherwise, I would say he's probably going to head to Aga Tower a little bit earlier than Spooty will, depending on how quickly he can get through Eastern here, but... If he does decide to do Zora, then obviously it's gonna take some time.
I could see him skipping it. Yeah, the reason why this seed has been screaming Aga Tower at us is because the first items we got was a lamp and a cape, and that automatically allows you into Aga Tower. Now, once we found the sword, then we're like, all right, cool, you can complete Aga Tower. All right, so you completed Aga Tower. Now what? Well, you found a Moon Pearl, you found Flippers or Glove, 2 options, and the hookshot. You can actually go up by the broken bridge, lift the rock, and hookshot across, and that gets you all the way to the West Dark World. I mean, or go into Pod, maybe? Probably not.
Yeah, we'll see where they decide to go, but it definitely is Aga required at this point. I'd be very surprised. I can't even think of anything that they haven't checked yet.
Yeah, we've seen everything at this point, so it is definitely Aga required. Here we are. Looks like he's gonna Houlihan as well. Man, these players, bunch of copycats. What are they doing?
Really? What? Come on.
Well, this is exciting. We are getting we've hit that roadblock. Our players have funneled into the same.
No!
What? Oh, he didn't get it.
Falls in, yeah.
Oh no, that's gonna be some time. He might actually. I wonder if he'll try again. Oh,
nope.
He's going for Aga. All right.
Oh no! Wow. It just looked like it.
That was a quick man. I didn't even see him switch. That was real quick.
Yeah, I think that's a 30 FPS problem that we're having here from the restream, maybe.
Well, now the question is Spooty going to go check Agnes Cave or go straight for Aga Tower? Because then that would put him ahead. Oh, here he goes. They're doing it, guys. Finally.
Finally, Aga is happening.
So what you guys are seeing on Prier's screen is for some reason, I think it has something to do with messing up the camera, the in-game camera or something, so the game gets confused and doesn't know where to put you, so it always defaults to this room, which is called the Houlihan Cave, named after Chris Houlihan, which is always a guaranteed 225 rupees, which allows him to go check Zora, where he's going to get his lovely piece of heart.
Exactly. And probably also important to know is that you can only do it once, unless you hard reset, I think, or maybe even then. I'm not even quite sure if you can do it more than once somehow.
Yeah, you can only do it once per game.
You can get back in there, but it's going to be empty.
Oh, did you see Spooty? He used the Quake medallion to take out those ball and chain guys even quicker. I like that.
Ooh.
Of the 3 medallions, which one's the fastest? I would assume Quake is.
Yeah, probably.
Because Bombos has the whole exploding part of the fire. Ether has the whole zappy part that takes a while. And...
yeah, Ether has the startup thing with the weird balls that fly around in the ring and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Quake is probably the fastest, you're right.
No, I wonder at this point what our players are feeling. They're feeling super behind because they did literally everything. Except for Spooty, who didn't check Agnes Cave, so...
yeah, and that's exactly the little lead that he has right now. I will probably feel behind if I checked as much as they have. Mm-hmm. Especially since you probably, with how good these players are, they've probably had the Aga Tower climb in the back of their mind ever since they picked up that cape.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cape and lamp.
Yeah, and then you're just feeling that you have to do it, but you try to avoid it so hard. And then when it turns out you really do have to do it, it definitely makes you feel behind.
Oh man, Prior going with the standard strats. Not going to be using that Quake medallion, which is actually going to cost him a little bit of time. But, you know, who thinks about using medallions at this point anyway? Now, here's something to consider, though. The last item both players found was the Master Sword. pretty much. Well, that was the last new item that we found since Spooty was up in Death Mountain finding silvers in. So it's been a while since we found any really true progression items. So clearing a lot of overworld and not finding any progression is it's gotta be stressful.
It's not a good feeling, yeah. I mean, you can sort of maybe wonder if your opponent did the same thing, but if he didn't, you're definitely gonna be behind. So it's not a good feeling.
Well, fortunately for these players, having done the same thing, they're pretty much gonna be, you know, neck and neck. Especially if Spooty eventually checks Agnes Cave, and that will deplete whatever lead he has. So the question is, what is the next step after getting through Agate Tower? I would assume the hookshot stuff to go to the left side, but we do have Pod, though bow-locked Pod is not really a high priority. We do have Catfish. Will we see a Catfish early?
It could be a good check.
Because there's really no good time to route Catfish unless you're doing like Catfish mirror into Zora, but since both these players already did Zora, now is the only time to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Catfish might be a good play here. I mean, it really depends. Of note here also is that unless Prier picks up another, it's not many rupees, but he definitely needs some more if he does want to check Pod, because he needs at least 110 to pay off Kiki.
Oh, that is true.
I'm gonna assume finding 8 rupees somewhere is not gonna be the end of the world, but you know.
Alright, and the pyramid only having a heart piece. It looks like Spooty's gonna go for the Catfish play. Good. I think it's smart just to get it out of the way, because when are you gonna come back and do this? Maybe if you... No, even if you find, like, the mushroom. Like... This is the only time you're gonna do it.
It's definitely the best time, because as you say, it's really out of the way. If you've already done Zora, when are you ever gonna come back to that part of the map? Alright, let's see what he has.
Just bombs.
That's a bummer.
Only 2 blue balls so far on Prier's side. Well, on both sides, since it's the same RNG for both players. Oh, here we go. Oh, man. Oh, no. Did I call that? Pendant Meyer and Pendant T-Rock. No way.
You sure you don't know anything about these seeds beforehand?
I know nothing. Of course, you get all the medallions, and it's pendant. Pendants.
On the other hand, if version 26 has taught us anything, never count out the pendant dungeons, right?
No, never. You might as well treat all the dungeons like they're crystal dungeons. And who knows? We could get one of those lovely blind pedestal poles in this seed. It's highly possible. Oh, and 5 is Ice Palace. All right. Okay, cool. 33 minutes in, and both their players are pretty much just starting the Dark Realm.
Yeah, it's a little weird so far, but...
And because of Spooty skipping out on Agnes Cave, he's still going to be holding that lead, because it looks like Prier is going to go for the Catfish play and get his bombs, or skip his bombs. Now the next question is, are we going to go straight to Village of Outcasts, or are we going to see a Skull Woods from either player? Because it's version 26, and Skull Woods is a popular place to have stuff.
Skull Woods always holding, it's very true. I wouldn't be surprised to see Spooty just finish out the Village of Outcasts stuff. Oh, hello, Mirror. Okay, that maybe changes stuff. I was gonna say he's probably gonna check around here and then dive into Thieves' Town. But Thieves' Town without the hammer is always a thing where you're... Nah, well, you know, it might turn out bad.
It's not a good feeling. Oh, wow, and the book. Okay, so we're finally going to get some progression here. And hey, we can actually get a pedestal check at some point if we want. Give him a fire rod next. I'll send him up there to go check the pedestal. Oh, I like this. Checking the sick kid. Good routing.
Yeah,
Good
that's
convenience.
That's a super smart choice. I would have probably forgotten about that completely, and then you wonder how you can route that in.
Well, something worth thinking about with Pendant Mire and Pendant T-Rock. There's Pendant Desert. I mean, man, those are some tough places to hide. What could, oh wow, there's okay. Is that a fire rod? I'm sorry. Go to Skullwoods. You've been.
Your believability is crumbling by the second, I want to say.
I'm sorry. All right, well maybe we'll get that early Skullwoods and pedestal check like I asked for so nicely.
What are you calling, quote unquote, to be on the pedestal, Lord?
It's too early to say. What could be there at this point?
Yeah, let me just quickly check the spoiler log here.
Could be
I'll
a
tell you
bow.
in 5 minutes.
Could be a. That's it. Maybe hammer. No, not hammer. Maybe boots. Yeah, that's the thing is, you need the hammer for T-Rock. You need the mitts for Mire and T-Rock. You need the flute for Mire. You need the cane for Mire and T-Rock. So the likelihood of a pedestal seed is pretty slim. At this point, it could definitely have the bow. And maybe the boots. It depends. So.
Yeah, there's not much left that could be on there, really.
So, to be honest, is it even worth checking at this point?
I mean, with the mirror in hand and the book and them being in Skullwoods, it's not really too much of a time waster. And just to be sure, you don't want to run around, clear all the crystal dungeons, and then be left with, like, one item that you need. Oh, Jesus.
There's the mitts. Alright, well, let's talk about this. So, hammer in Ice Palace now? That's an option.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a very likable option. Nobody likes that option. That sounds awful.
Won't be the first time we see it.
Yeah, and I think so far all we've seen is a shield in Skullwoods.
Yeah, I think the small shield was the first item he found, and he's missing one still. Obviously, he's gonna seed through here. He has everything he needs to clear it out, and it's a crystal, so why not?
Alright, well, depending on how SpootyBiscuit's Skullwoods goes, he will be the first one to get a crystal in this race, followed shortly by Prier. Prier taking the gamble on not needing to check the big chest, going in here without the hammer. Hopefully that works out for him.
What has he found so far? He has found the mitts, obviously.
Mitts. He skipped the small key because he doesn't have the hammer, which I think is a smart play.
Mm-hmm.
So first chest, it was big key, small key, and maybe a dungeon item, or maybe a minor second item.
I believe it was a compass, but I might be misremembering that.
Alright, let's see this Mothula fight. Interesting tactic of holding the sword charge. Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Finishing off using the rest of his magic. Getting a big key. The big key, nice. Now, if there is still another item in Skullwoods, then he'll probably have to go back in and check that one chest that nobody likes. That into a pedestal check. And then I wonder if he'll head on over and check north of Graveyard, since that would be super convenient to knock that one out immediately.
That would be super convenient. Even more convenient for him if he checked Thieves Town beforehand to get those mitts, so he could route in a King's 2 check, maybe? Wait, he doesn't have the boots. I'm dumb.
But what if he finds the boots in North of Graveyard? Also worth remembering, he does have the mirror, so even the Titan mitts aren't required to check King's Tomb. But second item being a red rupee. Conveniently, that means that the big chest is not going to be required to check. All right, guys, here it is. here is that lovely pedestal check. We'll see what we got on here. Probably just going to be a piece of love. Just a little piece of love. Sorry, guys. No fun. New seed. Get this one out of here.
And I think, unless I've completely miscounted the items, I think the big chest in Thieves Town does have an item of some sort. You got a blue boomerang down in the cell by the maiden, and Blind probably has something, or must have something, and I think there's one item left.
Ooh. Well, that's something scary to think about. One more hit. Ooh, okay. It's a good thing you had that blue mail, because that amount of hearts for thieves is a little... Oh!
Oh, okay.
Hello!
That is a hammer.
That's a new one. Hammer from Blind. Now, does that mean he has to go back in and check the big chest? Because that is super troll if that's the case.
I would, personally. If it really does still hold an item and I haven't miscounted, I would go right back in, and he does.
Oh,
that.
he's doing it.
Oh, boy.
Wow, I think that's a first. At least for me. I can't imagine the last time I've seen a hammer at Blind.
That's funny.
That is brutal. Haha, haha. Glad I'm not playing this one.
Oh man,
But
and it's
at
such
the
a
same
silly
time-
walk.
Well, here's the thing. Here's something else. No, hold on. I'm gonna hold that thought before I say something stupid. Whew, that was close. Oh man, Herb, could have been bad. Could have got yelled at by chat for saying something wrong. Didn't want to do that.
Oh, you never want that to happen.
No. And you give chat all the power, and then it's done. It's over.
Yeah, it's anarchy. Terrible things happen when chat has the power.
Okay, so yes, we did see the compass, and then the map was next to the bombable floor.
Mhm.
So there is definitely an item in there. I would absolutely laugh if it was like the Cane of Samari or something like that, because then that opens up T-Rock completely.
Oh, that would be awful, yeah.
Once he gets his fire out as well, which was in the chess game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But even funnier if there was absolutely nothing in this chest of value.
It's probably gonna be bombs or something stupid, maybe 10 arrows.
We get arrow capacity upgrade or something. The worst.
The worst.
Oh, hey!
Oh! Okay,
That's
we'll
good.
take that.
Okay, that's good. A tempered sword. Wow. That's a huge game changer.
Yeah, that was definitely worth going back for.
Now the question is Spooty going to make that play as well? Because that could be a huge difference maker in this race.
Yeah, definitely, depending on where the last sword upgrade is hiding, and if Spooty decides it's too much of a time waster to go back in here for the big chest, he could be stuck with a Master Sword. I mean, at least they did find the silvers already, but still, spinning versus just slashing Ganon is a huge difference.
And double the amount of those as well to get through each of the phases. Right, well, it looks like the players are going to be doing the exact same thing they did in the Light World. They're going to switch places and finish each other's dungeons. Except, fortunately for Prier, he's going to have a Tempered Sword for Mothula, which might save him a little time. The amount of times I've been playing a seed and I get to the Dark World and I do Skullwoods before Thieves, and then I find like 2 sword upgrades in Village of Outcasts. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I enjoyed the challenge anyway, so you can keep this.
Yeah, it's always a bit annoying when that happens.
But it always happens. Every time.
It's true. I mean, the seeds really go out of their way to troll you sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Prior to picking up item number 1 in Skull Woods, a small shield. Tear's least favorite item.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Just gotta, if he goes down to the bottom of Skull Woods, you can find one of those pickets to grab it from him, and then he doesn't have to have a shield again.
Oh yeah, it's true. I remember the last race of his that I commentated. He tried really hard to get rid of his shield, and then 5 minutes later or so,
He found
got the
another
fire
one.
shield. Yes.
Yeah. I remember that. That was funny. right, so with all this, I could easily see... I wonder if these players are going to route over, check north of Graveyard, or keep routing all the way down to Hype Cave.
Yeah, I think the quote-unquote normal route will probably be to go to Hype Cave just because there's more items there. But I'd really like them to check out the Graveyard Ledge just because it's another one of those out-of-the-way spots. You can't really conveniently get there. And after Skullwoods, if you're gonna check the Bumper Cave, which Spooty, I believe, did before he went to Skullwoods, but Prier has yet to do, if you route that in with it, you can get there pretty conveniently, I guess.
Alright, moment of truth for Spooty. Is he going to head back in with that hammer, or is he going to keep moving along? He's out of there.
Ooh, he's
no
not
sword.
Going back. Okay.
This is huge, because he will probably never go back for that item.
Yeah, definitely not. As soon as he hits Go mode, he will probably not think of that chest again. I mean, we're still quite a bit ways from Go mode, I guess, but, well, actually, are we? I guess we're a bow away, right?
Technically, yeah, just a bow. Because we don't need the flute, technically, we don't need the cane, and we don't technically need the boots, as far as we know. Now, G-Tower could change all of that if the big key's on the torch or the big key's on the right side.
Very true.
Ooh, Prier's got to be careful. There you go. Nice. Oh! A flute from J. Oh, man. That's actually some very convenient routing, because he'll be able to go up, if he was planning on going up to do the blacksmith stuff, and stop and turn his flute in. But that, oh man, you got to be thinking, oh, Pendant Mire already? I don't want to. Don't make me do it.
It's happening, I say. I mean, they do have other options for now. They could definitely do Ice Palace if they wanted to.
That is true. Ice Palace is completely doable at this point. Swamp Palace is completely doable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, do I gamble on a Pendant Dungeon having my Go Mode item so that I can Go Mode Ice Palace and Swamp, which are like two of the worst dungeons? Or even Go Mode Pod, which oftentimes are hard to do depending on where the big key is, but it is possible. Yeah, I would not want this seed. This would be frustrating. Because we've seen, like, ACMLM and Amazing Ampharos, their race, that came... I'm not going to spoil it, but it came down to a 50-50 between two Pendant Dungeons. And it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, that's no fun.
So as long as these players don't find that Cane of Samaria, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be sad. They're gonna be satisfied. It's like, please keep this away from me. I don't want it. All right, sweet. Prior doing the routing that I wanted to see, I wanted to see that north of Graveyard spot.
Yeah, I think this is a good decision just to get it out of the way.
Now, with Spooty getting the flute, he'll be able to conveniently turn in the purple chest, but I wonder if we'll see a trip straight to Mire, maybe even a trip into Desert, just to double check. It is green pendant, by the way.
Oh, yeah, very true.
Or not, so. This could also be one of those crazy seeds where we end up not needing to go into any pendant dungeon. It's possible. It's happened. This could be the one.
Yeah, few and far between, but it does happen every now and again. I think Spooty is probably gonna at least check the Mire area, like Checkerboard Cave, and then maybe route into Gina's Cave, since he still hasn't checked that either.
Oh yeah, and it looks like with this routing, we'll visit Stump, Circle of Bushes, Hype Cave, Purple Chest, Bombos, Agony. He's gonna knock them all out.
Yeah, it's definitely efficient. We don't really know if it's gonna pay off, except for Agina, I guess. But other than that, that's a good decision for the routing part here. So there's all the rupees they've been missing.
I know, right? Should go pay another visit to Zora.
Pay him another $500. Maybe this time he has something better.
Maybe. I mean, that is the thing. Prior still does need to have enough rupees for Palace of Darkness and all that stuff, and he's digging up all these green rupees. I've never seen so many.
There's his flute. Alright, Gary, what did your wife pack you today?
It's gotta be 10 arrows.
That's a weird lunch.
I can't eat this.
At least put some meat on those skewers.
Ooh, some shish kebab. Don't forget the veggies. Alright, Bombo's tablet, first check. Now, we do have all of the Dark World Death Mountain shenanigans. We can get up and do Hera as well at this point.
Oh yeah, very true. And the thing is with the bow, at this point they have so many possibilities of where it could be. It's really just
a matter of when they're gonna find it.
And as you said, the last thing they want to see right now is that Cane of Samaria.
Yeah. I'm sure they'd be happy to find some boots, but yeah, Cane of Samaria would be brutal. So I guess this is one of those seeds where you'd rather not have every single medallion and both rods already. I mean, when's the last time we've had something required at Pendant Trinex? It's got to be a while. There was definitely like I remember seeing a hook shot at Trinex in like the last tournament, but in this tournament, oh man, it's pretty rare. I think we've seen a sword at him once. That's about it. But that was also crystal Trinex.
Yeah, definitely don't remember anything offhand. I mean, Turtle Rock obviously has been loaded a lot of times, but Trinex himself specifically?
Alright, and it looks like Spooty's going to be making the big play. First one to commit to a dungeon after the whole swap of Skullwoods and Thieves Town. Going to be going into Swamp Palace. Now, in Swamp Palace, there are 6 items. Will he do a full clear, or will he just go straight to Argus? That's the real question.
And that is a good question. A lot of people opt to skip that left side. I think it'll depend on what he'll find in the first chest. And then I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to Argus first, check out all those chests, and then maybe come back in if there's 2 or 1 item left.
Yeah, we've seen people burned before. In this tournament, actually, by skipping that left side. Actually, we've seen Bo on the left side in like 2 races earlier this week. So, it'd be a good place to put a Bo. Maybe that's why Spooty's going there first.
Maybe.
I don't know, at this rate, what would you rather do? Full clear Ice Palace? Full clear Swamp Palace? Go into Pendant Mire? Go into potentially Bow-Locked Pod? We've got a lot of terrible options at this point.
Yeah, the options are not good, for sure. I think my first choice would have probably been the Mire area, just to get those spots out of the way. But other than that,
Yeah, it's a tough gamble, because at the same time, you don't want to put too much effort into Pendant Dungeons. Or, well, first of all, you don't want to put too much effort into Overworld, when you have all these optional dungeons you can do right now. And, at least while you're doing a crystal dungeon, even if you don't find what you need, you're still getting a crystal out of it, so...
Yeah, the crystal dungeons that you can finish and get to right now are definitely the best choice, because, as you say, even if you don't find anything, at least you're getting a crystal out of it.
So right now, what's put Spooty so far in the lead was Prior went back into Thieves Town to check the big chest, which got him that Tempered Sword, which is gonna come into play, definitely, later on in the race, depending on if Spooty finds another sword upgrade, which would be the 4th sword upgrade, which could easily end up being a G-Tower.
Yeah, true. You might never see it, really, depending on where it's hiding. And if we do see it from Spooty, there's probably a good chance that Prior will also run across it. Admittedly, the difference between Butter and Tempered on a Ganon fight isn't that huge, especially not as big as the difference between Master Sword and Tempered.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it's still gonna make a difference either way.
Well, this is exciting. We actually did not see a Hype Cave check from Spooty. Will Hype Cave live up to its name?
Oh man, if the bow is really in here. Sure, why not? Just give us a shovel. That's exactly what we want to see at this point in the seed.
Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Man, if only you had that earlier, so you could have routed that with your trip to, through the south part of the Dark World stuff. Because now you'd have to go back to check that shovel spot, and it's like Prior saying, nah, I'm gonna go follow Spooty into Swamp Palace.
I'd probably just go right back to the shovel spot out of pure frustration, but yeah, this is definitely the better play.
So finally, our players are syncing up-ish. They're in the same dungeon at the same time, for once. Well, I guess they were both in Aga Tower at the same time.
Yeah, true. I think it's kind of fascinating that Spooty, the last time I looked, he was at 500 rupees flat, and then he was at 600 rupees flat, and now he's at 650.
It's a nice sight to see. Oh man, and the left side not showing up today in Swamp Palace. I wonder if Prior will skip it. Because here's the thing, when you're one item away from Go Mode, the most convenient thing would be able to find your bow or your Go Mode item on the way to the boss. So sometimes it's nice to route straight to Argus, and then go back. Especially if Argus ends up having the big key or something.
Yeah, it could definitely make up some time for him if he decides to go straight back to Argus and then realizes, okay, I've gotten most or maybe even all of the items. It's not quite go-moding the dungeon, but it's like you're opening yourself to the possibility of go-moding it, I guess.
Alright, what are we going to find down here? We still have 3 more chests to check, and then Argus. We've seen a compass. That's it. I wonder if he finds the big key early, if he'll go back upstairs and check.
Yeah, maybe if he finds it down there in that room with the 2 chests, he'll go up that little buggy staircase. Nope.
Well, at this point, I'm just hoping that Argus has big key, and then it's like a map in the chest, so he doesn't have to go back in. Which is what it's gonna be. Cool.
Yeah, definitely looks like it.
That's all right. That's not bad. So yeah, Swamp Palace, a total bust for finding that progression item we need. At least we didn't find a Cane of Samaria though, so it could have been worse. And I'm sure, unless he's forgotten completely, Spooty will probably head to Hype Cave next, and we might see that shovel check immediately afterwards. Oh, but this is going to be pretty big. Prior having that Tempered Sword is going to have a little bit easier time against Argus. He's kind of a pain when you have only Master Sword, and even worse when you only have Fighter Sword. Or no sword.
Yeah, that is worst. But yeah, as you say, even Master Sword real annoying with those 2 slashes.
Yeah, if you're quick enough, you can actually hook 2 of the little puffballs at the same time and slash them twice, killing them simultaneous. Speeds it up a little bit, but their hitboxes are a little wonky at times. 2 fire rod shots, 2 more to go, and he's down. That's Argus for you.
Yep, nice and clean find. There's the big key. And as we already said, he's not going to go back in because that big chest only has a map for him.
Now, I missed it on Prior's side. Did he check left side? Because he is catching up ridiculously. I think he skipped it. I think he set it up but then went downstairs.
Yeah, I believe so too.
So at this point, he knows that there's only 1 item left. He might skip it.
He might take that gamble. He might also feel really bad about leaving one item behind when he's only one item away from go mode. There you see how much faster Argus goes with a tempered sword.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it's only 2 spins to clear him out. Though, if you're fancy enough, you can actually get the 2 fire rods and spin with the tempered sword to finish him off.
Yeah, I love seeing that strategy.
Looks like Spooty is going to go ahead and check that shovel spot while he's at it.
Yeah, with that hype cave that Prier checked beforehand. Oh, and Prier's gone back. Okay, that's going to cost him some time. I was just going to say, with that hype cave check, Prier almost caught back up to Spooty, but now gone back to check that one last item.
Yeah, well, I mean, it worked out for him in Thieves Town, so he's probably thinking it's going to work out again for him this time.
Yeah, I definitely don't blame him. You don't want to leave anything behind and then check everywhere else and then realize, okay, it was that one chest.
Oh yeah, and by the way, what you saw there is Spooty pausing a couple times. You can't switch back to your flute while you're still in the middle of the shovel animation. Because then it would just... You'd think it would just swap out. All of a sudden you're digging with your flute, and you're like, that's not how this functions. That's not a thing.
You don't want to clog up the holes.
Absolutely not. Alrighty, well... When you have crystal dungeons you could do, you might as well do them and just hope that you find what you need in them. So, Spooty gonna go straight for the Ice Palace play, gonna full clear it. I'm excited to see this, because everybody's kind of have their own little way of routing Ice Palace, and it also depends primarily on what the first chest holds. If it's a small key, it's a little bit easier to route. But having hookshot also makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, thankfully he does have the hookshot, because these guys are real annoying with a Master Sword. And as we said earlier, unless he runs into the last sword upgrade somewhere, he's going to be stuck with that Master Sword for quite a while.
Well, we did get a small key in the first chest of Ice Palace, so routing this is going to be a little bit easier. Being able to route that first little locked door on the right side, check all 3 of those chests.
Alright, Prier almost done with his check of Swamp Palace. We'll pick up his red rupee, I think. Oh no, it was 50 bucks, okay. A little bit better.
A little bit. Because he still needed the money, right? Oh no, he's good. He's good. Never mind.
Yeah, finally, he's
he got some money. He's got plenty. First try bomb jump. Oh, a little too high. Second try bomb jump.
Yeah, that looks good.
A little too high.
Never mind.
Third try bomb jump. There we go. Nailed it. And Prier following in Spooty's footsteps, checking that shovel spot. Where is he going to go next? Is he going to make the Ice Palace play? Is he just going to keep following in his opponent's footsteps? Because here's the thing. If he keeps doing that, he will slowly catch up with that difference in swords. It looks like we're going to get a Mire check finally.
Okay, I'm happy about that. I'm always curious what the Mire area holds. I'm wondering if he does make the gamble on the Pendant Mire.
It'd be a tough gamble to make, but as long as Vitreous doesn't hold the item, I think it'd be a good play to make.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault him for it. With all the crystal dungeons available, I personally wouldn't do it, but maybe he thinks he needs to gamble a little bit. Alright, so far only an empty bottle. He's probably gonna check the checkerboard cave next, and then oh no. Oh no.
Yes! Yes! That's what I wanted to see in Ice Palace. Oh, that's horrible. I'd be so mad right now if I was Spooty. We got a Cadus to Mario. So, So what
Unless
do you do
he
now?
also finds the bow in here somehow.
Yeah, and it bails him out. So we got T-Rock, we got Meyer, we've got options, and Prier is looking like he's gonna try out some different options before committing to any of those pendant dungeons. Focusing a lot on overworld, which is not a bad play. This bow can literally be anywhere. Heck, it could even be the first chest in pod. It's possible.
He might also be going up to Hera, which personally I like, because Hera is a dungeon you can clear relatively fast. And if the bow is in here... we shall see. He could also be doing the Spike Cave, if he so chooses.
And we'll also get to see the Ether check as well up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I like this play from Prier. He's gonna do Hera, and then he's probably gonna do the whole Dark Roll Death Mountain thing.
Honestly, I like both these plays because you're knocking out crystal dungeons whilst also looking for stuff. Yes, the dream is to be able to go mode a lot of these dungeons, but the worst thing is complete independent dungeon, finding nothing, and then realizing that the next item you needed was inside a crystal dungeon that you could have done.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow. Well, all right. So that's good for Spooty. So Spooty is saved because, as you said earlier, the difference between there's a big difference between Master Sword and Tempered versus Tempered and Butter. It's not as bad.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a chest that Spooty will 100% check. There's no way he's going to miss out on that chest.
Man, I can't remember the last time we didn't have a sword in G-Tower, though. Feels like forever.
Yeah, kind of weird seeing Butter Sword before G-Tower, if at all.
Now, I wonder, with Prier going back and full clearing Thieves Town and Swamp, I wonder if there ends up being an item in the basement, if he'll go for that play.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I think so far... Oh, boy.
There's a mushroom. Oh, man. What a jerk seed.
Yeah, really, they aren't spared anything. Shovel, Mushroom, the Cane of Samaria with 2 pendant dungeons that require it.
Oh, a nice use of Fire Rod and Bombos to make this an easy cold stare fight when you only have Master Sword. Oh no! And we got a fall for Prier.
And we got the boots for Spooty, I'm sorry.
I haven't gotten to do this like alternate, but that's all I wanted.
That's my favorite.
It's been a while. Spooty picking up the boots, nice. So, what are we thinking? Bow on like the torch in Desert Palace at this point?
Maybe it could be. There's so many things open for these guys.
They just keep finding stuff that they don't need.
Yeah, exactly. At least, unlike the Cane of Samaria, the boots are a nice thing to have. The cane, at the moment, is more of a burden than it is a good item.
Yeah, they have way too much stuff to check now. And it's got to be, like, frustrating and overwhelming as a player.
Yeah, you just really gotta make the decision of where you want to go first with all the things that are open to you, and it's very annoying.
It is. Speaking of annoying, here we have Spike Cave. Spooty picking up that piece of heart on top of the Spectacle Rock, which allowed him to get a full health restore. And a new heart container. Oh! Tough break there. Only the single arrow. Feels bad.
Man. It spikes into your feet for like a minute, and then all you get is a single arrow. That's really bad. On the upside, though, Spooty's finally gonna pick up a sword upgrade, the one that will actually make this a lot closer than it was before. At least concerning the Ganon fight, I guess.
Yeah, this is really good to see. It's always, I don't know, it's frustrating when you watch a race and it comes down to sword difference in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, It's so easy to miss one item. Now, if it's one of those scenarios where like one player's really far ahead and doing Master Sword silvers, and a player comes up from behind with like Tempered Sword and ties it up, then it's a little bit more hype, but...
Yeah, you just don't want to see it really come down to the sword difference, and then one guy is spinning relentlessly while the other guy's just having no problems on the Ganon fight.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing, though. Because of Spooty finding both the boots and the cane, and opening up so much more, especially all of T-Rock, while Prier's going to be up here checking all this stuff without being able to do T-Rock, which he's probably very thankful for. You gotta wonder what his routing options are going to be that he's going to make next. Because it'd be unfortunate for him to go do something like go into T-Rock and then end up not having anything. So, and it just comes down to how you route the dungeons. So, but what if it ends up being on Laser Bridge? Who knows? It could be.
Yeah, it's a really good question. It could be a blessing for Prier, or it could be a curse for Prier that he doesn't have the Cane of Samaria right now. He's probably thankful that he doesn't have to check Turtle Rock yet, but what if Turtle Rock is holding?
Oh, nice. You know, this has not been a very healthy seed overall.
Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier, especially Spooty has very little hearts, really.
Alright, Hookshot Cave, what do you got? You gonna have that bow for us? Oof, nothing.
Oh man, that was trash.
Nothing. I wonder if Spooty will make the T-Rock play after he checks Super Bunny and all that. Alright, Prior, what's your next step? Ice Palace, probably?
Yep, looks like it.
Yeah, that's also worth considering. It's having the boots. It's going to allow Spooty to make, you know, save a bunch of time routing, especially routing overworld stuff. So
Yeah,
what do we
that
have
was
left? What do we have left for overworld in this game? Oh, that was Sankheart in Super Bunny Cave. Nice.
What do we have left?
Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
We still have Bat Cave, but that's unavailable unless they do that funny glitch, which Prior can't because he turned into his mushroom, but Spooty can. We've got. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, they've really checked a whole lot of stuff before they finally decided to do Aga 1. And they've also really cleared out the Dark World a lot so far. I guess there's the double-chested fairy, but not before they find the bow, so she can have the bow.
Mm-hmm. So she's kind of not even a consideration at this point. Oh man, Spooty's making the play, guys! This is it! This is huge! Worst case scenario, I mean, he could do all of this dungeon and find nothing. It's highly possible. And it could be just sitting in Desert Palace on the torch.
Oh man, that would be painful.
Which happened to me in the weekly. I'm coming from experience. Now, T-Rock has 5 items plus a 6th item at Mimic Cave, so there's a lot of stuff you could check here. As opposed to the 2 items in Mire, or the 2 items in Desert, or... Well, there's Powder. The potential, 2 or 3 chests you can check in Pod before you get locked. But going to Pod looking for a bow is kind of a silly choice.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel good. I mean, that doesn't mean it can't be there, but it's not something you want to see.
I mean, the likelihood of it being in Pod, I can't even... What are the numbers? I can't even think of them. It's gotta be pretty low.
But now I'm definitely wondering, maybe it could also be Meyer. Really, any of the pendant dungeons, they all have access to all of them, so...
Not yet. Prier's picking up his cane and thinking, oh, man, come on. I gotta say, I think the worst situation possible, just in general, would be bow at Vitreous. Because nobody likes to do Vitreous without a bow, right?
Yeah, especially if you already have the silvers in hand but can't use them.
It's just mean. It's just rude. These poor players. Oh man, we're still going. Oh man, I don't even know what to feel anymore. I got nothing to talk about. We just gotta sit here and wait until we find it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm just watching to see every chest he opens. I'm wondering, is it gonna be the bow? Is it not gonna be the bow? I'm sure right now the powder is also on his mind since he just picked it up. And we were just talking about it.
What was the last? What was the last item they found that was progression? Was it the hammer?
Well, I guess if you count the boots, it was the
I mean,
boots
I'm
for
talking about
Spooty.
as far as we know for go mode.
Oh,
in order to
okay.
complete the crystal dungeons. I think it was the
fire?
hammer.
No, it was the hammer from Blind, you're right.
So, whenever both players found the hammer, was when they were one item away from go mode, which had to have been like around the 45-minute mark, something like that maybe. So, we've been searching for quite some time looking for that second item. Or that last item.
It has definitely been a while. Alright, so now the question is, what is Prier's next move? Does he go straight up to Tell Rock?
Man, at this point, I would go check King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks right away. I would put emphasis on those bow lock sections, or boot lock sections.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it looks like that's what Prier is planning to do.
Because just think how much time you'd be able to save. You wouldn't have to do at all of a T-Rock. And it's going to allow Prier to catch up quite a bit. If he ends up finding it in here. Oh, man.
Turtle Rock.
No. This is so stressful.
It's gonna be like the last chest on Laser Bridge or something.
I mean, the thing is, there's no other items to really find except for the bow. They have everything else that they need to do everything. Is this... No, that's not it! Oh my gosh.
Alright, so it's not the overworld spots. Here comes the Laser Bridge. It's a map.
There's the key. I mean, we'll probably see a Trinex kill.
At this point, yeah.
There's the compass. And a fall! Oh, is Prier going straight? Is he going for Mire or Desert at this point? Looks like he's going for Desert with those boots in hand. Oh, big heart. Alright, Trinex might be the answer. Trinex with the bow? Get out of here.
If it's just sitting on the torch right now, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah. Like when I lost my mind yesterday during the Standard Weekly.
Okay, so far only a big key, that's fine. Alright, Spooty having no real problems with the Trinex fight at all. I'm sure he's glad he picked up that Tempered Sword now. Okay, Trinic's down. What's it gonna be? Ah, just a piece of heart, no bow for him.
Oh man.
There's one
Oh, that's
desert
gotta be
item.
frustrating. You do all of T-Rock and find nothing.
It's the second desert item. I wonder, is Prier gonna do Mire now? Ah, he was thinking about it.
Did he get both the items in desert?
Yeah, he did. It was a piece of heart and 50 rupees.
Oh, but there's still that green pendant to think about too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we got left? Oh man, is Prier going back and doing all of T-Rock?
I think so, yeah.
If that's the case, that's good for Spooty. These players are gonna swap places again. You know, now honestly, I gotta be thinking, man, pod. What if it's in pod? You know how trolling that would be? That'd be the worst. I would just laugh.
Oh, we'll have to see where Spooty goes next. He could be checking out Desert. He could decide to dip and depend on Mire. Oh, is he going back for the last chest in Thief's Town? Nope, he's not.
Ooh, a bat check real quick.
Okay. Why
By
not?
the logic, we got that powder from T-Rock, so that that could be it.
Since it was really the only thing he got out of there, might as well check it.
And if it's not here, he'll probably go check King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Jeez. All right. Where? Is it in Mire? At this point, what do we got left? We got Mire and beginning of pod. I mean, Sahasrara is also an option, but that would require killing Landmola.
Yeah, I think that's really about it, though. At this point, I'm thinking it's gotta be in Mire. I mean, it could still be in Pod, obviously, but Pod only has 3 chests, I believe, where the bow can be.
The first chest, the one on the bridge, the vanilla big key chest, and then the one you drop down to? Or is it just the one you drop down to?
I'm not 100% sure which chests there are, but I know that there's currently a logic thing that makes it so the bow can only be in 3 of the chests in Pod. I'm sure someone on Discord or so can give you more detailed information, or maybe someone in chat.
Someone just confirmed just the drop, not the vanilla big key chest. Good to know. I'm still learning. Woohoo! All right, Spooty, what are you gonna do? You gonna go for the desert play, or you gonna go for the Mire? We still have not seen Mire yet, and this is actually, I think, Spooty's first time in the Mire area in general, seeing as he hasn't done Mire Shed, so he'll probably check Checkerboard Cave next, and then the big choice. Oh, Spooty, come on! Didn't even listen to me. That's fine. Not even mad.
Oh, he's gonna also check Desert. That's good for Prier. Alright, and as you said, we're just seeing our runners switch places, basically. We've already seen Spooty do all of Turtle Rock, and we've seen Prier do all of Desert, so we're not going to really find anything new. We are still on that hunt for the bow.
Will we find it? I'm hoping so. I mean, eventually we have to find it, right? Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
I mean, it'd be kind of exciting to commentate the first non-completable seed, but I think the chances of that are pretty low.
Man, if that happens, then that's just one other thing people are going to blame me for. Nah, but then yeah. I could just throw blame on VTorp. Super easy. Super easy. Man, so for anyone just checking in, our players are, as Hervey said, switching spots right now. We've already seen all of T-Rock. We've already seen all of Desert. The only possible spots we have left to check are Meyer, Sahasrara from Green Pennant Landmola, and Pod. That's it.
There's not too much left anymore for these guys.
And it looks like Spooty's gonna have to make that big decision coming up. Yo, that's synchronized mirror. Oof.
Oh, very nice.
Avert your eyes. All right, here we go. Spooty, first one to make the Meyer trip. Now, for those wondering, we got all 3 medallions in Kakariko, or near Kakariko, so they've been available from the start.
Yeah, it might be a really good choice. We'll see. I mean, the chances of it being in Pod are pretty low, so yeah. But as you were saying earlier, he's probably really hoping that it's not Vitreous.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, these players had access to Meyer prior to getting the Canis Maria. I guess it doesn't really matter which way, because we found the flute in the digging game, and then Canis Maria was deep inside Ice Palace, so had they routed this earlier and an item ended up being on Vitreous, it would have forced a double dip, so I can understand not wanting to go in there. But you're really hoping it's not going to be on Vitreous.
Yeah, on the other hand, as you say, they had access to this pretty early on, so if the bow is indeed in here and not on Vitreous, it could have been in goal mode quite a while ago.
Prier making his way through the laser bridge, which has really nothing. It was what? 2 dungeon items, a small key, and a heart.
Yeah, it was extremely disappointing.
So yeah, it's a frustrating scenario for these players when they have all this overworld to do and pendant dungeons and full crystal dungeons to do. Both these guys kind of focused solely on crystal dungeons first, and then all they were left with were all these 3 pendant dungeons, and one of them, it's got to be in one of these, right?
At this point, yeah, I really don't know where else it could be.
It's not in Meyer yet. Still looking.
It is definitely hiding very well.
And wait, hold on. Oh
no, come on.
Oh gosh. All right, that's both items, so it's not in Meyer. So we got Pod and Landmola, or Pod and Sahasrara. That's it. Those are our options, as far as I know. And it's gonna be pretty. Oh gosh, if it ends up being, oh, is he gonna go back for the? Oh, he's gonna go back and get himself a sword. Well, this is good for Prier.
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a time save for Prier, I guess, or at least he's going to be able to make up some time, depending on where he goes next.
For those just tuning in, Blind of Thievestown held the hammer. Prier went back in to check the big chest, which held an item, and it ended up holding a sword. So Spooty's going to end up going back in here and getting his butter sword, which is good. It's a good thing to have, but that's going to allow Prier to catch up. Because this solely was one of the reasons why Spooty got such a big lead, was Prier going back in and checking that. Oh man, if Prier goes straight into Meyer, I'm going to laugh.
Oh, come on. Go to Pod, man.
Kill Landmola.
Or do that, yeah.
Do the thing.
You might actually do that before going into Meyer. Well,
nope.
All right, well,
this is good. We're literally good. They're gonna get into G Tower at like the exact same time, probably.
Oh, he's gonna get beat up by the bird a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's the thing about Quake, is it does not harm that bird. So he's gonna. Imagine if every time during this animation he was getting hit again and again and again, like it added up over time.
I was actually surprised that it doesn't work that way, because just with the way this whole game works and how you can like still get hit while you're falling down a hole and stuff.
Yeah, you would think.
The first time I saw this happen to someone, I was fully expecting them to just be dead immediately after the cutscene ends.
That would be funny though. Yay, I got, because especially dying in Dark World Overworld is really frustrating, because it, you know, if you killed Aga, then it'll take you to the pyramid. If you haven't, then it'll take you to the Light World. So,
Yeah,
but Myre's not too bad. It's pretty easy to get back there.
Yeah, it's still annoying, definitely, dying in the overworld. I mean, if you die in a dungeon, at least you only, quote-unquote, respawn at the entrance, but the overworld, it's usually a little bit of a trip.
Alright, Spooty gonna check Bonk Rock's King's Tomb. I don't think he's done North of the Graveyard either, so this is actually pretty convenient run for him, since he'll be able to knock them all out at once. We'll see if Prier gets his second item by the time he's done with this. Yeah, he should have it, because it was... Oh yeah, it was the red tunic in this room he's in right now. Yeah, so unless he goes for the vanilla big key location check.
If he immediately turns around after hitting this crystal switch and grabbing the key, he'll be in good shape. And it looks like that's what he's doing.
Alright, so with that, Prier's going to be moving ahead a little bit. So it all comes down to... We got two places, guys. We got Land Mola, Green Pendant, or we got Pod.
Oh my god, what is that color?
It's lovely. Isn't it great?
I'm blind forever now.
Ooh.
Oh, looks like he does want to get the green pendant first.
Okay. Well, here's the convenient thing about it. If it ends up not being there, he'll set up the pod, the trip into pod, and then he'll mirror to check Sahasrara, so that way he can do it in one go. And I think both players should do that. That would just be a smart way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Spooty's not gonna. He's gonna go straight into pod. So this is huge, guys. This is a make or break moment right here. Because at the same time, if Spooty doesn't find it, and depending on how the keys are in pod, he might go further into pod than you're allowed to by the game's logic without the bow.
Yeah, this is gonna make all the difference, really.
I just can't believe they've done everything, and still haven't found it. It's almost been an hour since the last progression item we've done. At least for quote-unquote go mode. We still don't know what G-Tower has, but now at least all of G-Tower is available to him once they find this bow.
Alright, Prier starting his Land Mola fight shouldn't really be a big deal. Butter Sword, Fire Rod, Half Magic.
And a lovely shade of pink for those Land Molas. It's pretty. It's beautiful. Alright. First chest of Palace of Darkness. What's it gonna be? It's...
Come on! Oh,
that was amazing.
This is the weirdest seed I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, Prier's going to be a little bit behind, but he's going to pick that up right away as well. And just, can you believe it? Now imagine, if you will, these players had gone to pod early, gotten that bow, and then, you know, skipped out on, like, well, they would have got the boots regardless from Cold Stare. They might have skipped out on the cane. So, you know, we'll find out what G-Tower has, and then we'll be able to really decipher what was actually required in this seed. Yeah, like 45 minutes for go mode since our last progression item. Since we got that hammer, something like that. That is insane. What a stupid seed.
That was just really stupid.
I love it. I'm just glad it's not me.
It started out with like all the medallions early on, and then the first thing where the seed really screamed, "I am so stupid" at me, was when Blind dropped the hammer. And it just kept going.
Did Prier not check the pedestal the first time? He didn't. Oh, we're gonna see wait, what is he? Oh, he didn't kill Vitreous though, so. this is gonna cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, he needs to get into pod as quickly as possible, really.
And it looks like pod is being pretty difficult with that big key, so depending on how he routes, he might be able to save a little time. Now, is it going to be in the dark maze, or is it going to be on the right side? I know, of course, he still has to do the whole beginning section because of bow being the first item, so... But if instead of checking that vanilla big key location, if he goes straight to the back, could save a little bit of time here, but, you know, these players are really, really close, so it's definitely still going to come down to a G-Tower route.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a close one. It comes down to the G-Tower route and execution and really how well they play on the Gambit fight. I mean, with Butter Sword and Silvers in hand, shouldn't really be a problem for either of our players.
Oh man, and when you see Bo in that location, you gotta be thinking to yourself, my opponent got this like 45 minutes ago, probably. So we might be seeing some turning nerves from both these players. So if they start dropping combos and making mistakes, you know, I don't blame them.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, both of them full clearing Turtle Rock, even killing Trinix. That's gotta make you feel behind when you pick up the bow right there.
It would be interesting to see if right side ends up having the big key in G Tower. So then, like, an early go mode could have potentially hurt some players if they had gone to pod first. Alrighty, Prier making his way through the bowlock section. Spooty making his way to the back, firing an arrow, and he's lovely got a full set of hearts, so he'll be able to hit the switch with the sword beam and save one menu, which is always nice. It's always nice. Gotta save those frames.
Yeah, that switch, that's so annoying. First you have to wait for this wall to go away, and it takes like 2 minutes, and then you have to menu around and weirdly hit that switch. I really don't like this section of pod.
It's just like the wall moving in at land mole, you know, before land mole is, or the tile room, if you set up the little iframes thing. It's just a moment where you can stop and breathe.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
And based on this seed so far, I'm sure these players need more than just a moment to breathe. And here's the thing. I don't hate any of their routing from the seed at all. I would have done everything that they would have done. Because, come on, bow and pod, really? Like, why? Why would that happen?
Yeah, definitely. Like, 100% I agree with you. I wouldn't say anyone made any bad decisions concerning the routing. It's who thinks that the bow is going to be there.
But here's the thing. Because this was an EGA-required seed, you know, had they just gone straight into pod immediately, they would have had that bow at like 35 minutes in. And they would have had go mode by the time they were done in Village of Outcasts. So, allegedly, supposed go mode, pseudo go mode.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean,
honestly, I guess sometimes it's okay to go to dungeons that you can't complete because it's a quick check. Yeah, you're gonna lose a bit of time like going there. Of course, this is all speaking hindsight because we know how the seed ended up playing out. But in the heat of the moment, though, the likelihood of we'll have to ask them if they even considered pod when they first got into the Dark World. I'm gonna go with a no from both of them if I had to guess.
I'd be surprised, really. Maybe, well, not even maybe after they picked up the hammer. You just don't want to go into pod without the bow.
Or if you do, just make sure that you don't go too deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Or understand that if you find anything in that section, that is a sequence break, and to not play off of that too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing about the seed is they didn't really get any chance to sequence break at all, if I recall correctly. They got the flippers early, they got the lantern early, so...
Yeah, they didn't really have a chance to sequence break at all. That's very true. The lamp right they're up there with the first items that they found, depending on where they went first, and then the flipper is showing up pretty early too.
Alrighty, and you can kind of see how far behind these players are. Honestly, Prier wasn't really that far behind, but that pedestal check right before going definitely cost him some time. I'm surprised that he didn't check. Did he not have the book when he did Skullwoods the first time? I thought the book was at the bombable hut. So if he had gone into Skullwoods first, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
I think he had the book.
Yeah, I think he just didn't do it.
He just maybe didn't think about it. So yeah, as you say, definitely that pedestal check and getting the green pendant, it didn't cost him too much time, but it cost him a little bit of time, and those things, like, together, they add up, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing was he turned in the pendant and then went and checked the pedestal again. So we'll have to ask him about that. But yeah, there we have it. Spooty getting his last crystal. Now is the time, guys. Time to throw out some numbers in chat. Or, you know, numbers are kind of lame. Let's throw out actual locations, because numbers can change depending on routing. Where do you want that big key to be in G Tower? I want it to be right side, because I want that Cane of Samaria to be actually worth it. Like, I want it to be in the Tyler room. No. They've been through enough. We'll put it in the compass room. Bottom right chest.
Okay, so bottom right chest on the right side in the room with the 4 chests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I want it to be in the rando room.
Rando room is a good one as well.
In the top left chest.
If it was on the torch, that'd be awesome, just because of how boots were at Cold Stare. Like, there's no way you could have missed those. But yeah, we'll
that would
find
be nice.
out. Yeah, Spooty taking a huge lead at this point. Gosh, I can't even fathom how far apart they are. So, unless it's like a really trolly big key location, you know, like Ice Armos, but he does some sort of weird route, like going to Rando Room and then mirroring out. This is looking like Spooty's game. Gotta say it. Just gonna go ahead and say it.
It's gonna take a big thing to make Prier catch up. I mean, he only quote unquote has to make his way to Armos Knights, pick up his last crystal, and then get up there. But by the time he gets up there to G Tower, Spooty might have already found the big key and make his way to the gauntlet.
Alrighty, G Tower. What do you got for us? Anything fancy? Still looking for that Brian. Yo, big 300, nice. Yo, big 20, nice. The money room.
Now that they haven't found a small key in the first 2 chests, I kind of want it to be on the right side.
Yo, big 300. Yeah, because that means he's more than likely, unless he mirrors out, he's going to go route all the way to Ice Armos and then go back and do right side.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he got to be feeling behind at this point, having done Landmola as well. So we might see a wacky G Tower route from Prier at this point. But we'll see. I don't actually know what the standard is for either of these players when it comes to G Tower routing. Oh man, nothing but keys. Herfy, how you feeling? Keys. Are you getting stressed out? I'm still stressed.
A little bit.
That bow was the longest 45-minute tease of my life. I am not a fan of that one.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then to show up in that first chest and pod just to really hammer it in, jeez.
It's so rude. Ooh, don't want to miss that key.
Yeah, only had 4.
Yeah, I mean, every one of those counts. You never know. Oh, and we got an audio switch. Switching over to SpootyBiscuit's audio. I think I can hear it.
Yep. It's a little bit quiet, but that's fine. And Ganon is hoarding all the money in his tower, apparently. Jesus.
Herfy, we should We should whisper so we're not too loud. Gotta make sure that the game is at a nice balance level. All right, we're heading into the random room. 4 more chests in here. Is it going to be in here? There's Brian. There's a piece of art. There's the fire shield and more bombs. Alrighty, that right side room is looking even better. As I said, I want to see that Cane of Samaria come into play, because that would have required a full clear of Ice Palace. Now here's the question, is Prier going to make a crazy route or what? What is he going to do? Is he going to make the stupidest of routes? Is he going to go to the Stalfos room and mirror out and use those keys to go all the way to the right side and take potentially a lead or even tie it up? Stay tuned.
Only here on ASMR Rando.
This is the place where it happens. We got Bob's chest. Is it going to be Bob? It's not Bob, but it is 10 arrows. Ice Armos coming up. We finally get to use those silver arrows. Well, I guess they used them in the last 2 dungeons. Oh, and it looks like Prier's going for the right side, so if he follows the same route as Spooty, that's going to be curtains for him.
Yep, he's not going to find a small key here. Let's see if he does decide to somehow mirror back after getting a small key.
Cane of Samaria required. Cane of Samaria required. I love seeing that. Good.
Alright, if Prier grabs that key and mirrors back out to the right side, he will have made up the difference. But does he do that? And he doesn't.
Yeah, it's a tough call to make. If you don't see the full left side first, then the likelihood of them mirroring out is pretty slim.
Yeah, it would definitely be a super weird decision to mirror out there after that key, but obviously us as spectators knowing where the big key must be.
All right, unless it's in Tile Room, we got 4 more chests coming up for you guys. Oh yeah, this is looking bad for Prier at this point. There's just no room for time save left.
Nope, he's gonna clear the full left side, kill Ice Armos, and then realize, okay, it's gotta be in the right side.
Bottom right, let's go. Oh, it was a big 300. There it is.
Oh, close.
There's the big key. Let's go. Gauntlet. SpootyBiscuit taking an even bigger lead, running up the gauntlet. So that's the thing. That's what the seed ended up doing to you. So you had to go into Ice Palace. Not only just to get the crystal, but to full clear it for that Cane of Samaria. So this whole time, it made you think, oh, Cane of Samaria, I should go do Mire. Oh, I should go do all of T-Rock. Nope. I should get that big key in G-Tower.
That's what you needed it for.
We will not be seeing the Tile Room, but there it is. Man, what a crazy seed. I cannot wait to hear from both these players. I'm sure by the end of this, they are going to be exhausted. But here's the thing. Despite doing all of that, this is going to be a sub 2 hours.
Yeah, it's still, for what they had to do and what the seed forced them through, it's still really quick. And I'm wondering, especially with both of them being in G-Tower right now, they're probably having a close eye on IRC.
Oh, definitely. They're probably giving it the side eye every couple seconds. Every time every screen transition, they're looking over.
And you're just wondering, oh man, I did all this stuff that I didn't need to do. I full clear Turtle Rock, and the other guy still hasn't done yet. Do I still have a chance?
Alrighty, Prier moving into the Ice Armos battles. Spooty moving into the frozen sections. Gonna be coming up on Landmola 2, where there's a few ways you could do it. You can use the Fire Rod, you can use Silvers, or you can just stall in this room, so if they spawn at the same time, and just use your Butter Sword. Looks like we're gonna see Silvers. Ooh, a little early on that second one.
Alright, still no big deal with the Butter Sword. 2 slashes. And now Prier making his way to the right side. He is pretty much a whole gauntlet behind at this point.
Fortunately, he is going to be skipping out on Tile Room, so he will not be wasting time doing that one. Because Tile Room is always last. That's just a rule. Just how randomizers played.
Yeah, that's how it has to be.
Alrighty, Prier moving in. He's going to be getting his big key here in a couple seconds. Already setting up with that mirror. Doesn't need any extra keys or anything. Just needs to get that big key and go upstairs. Grabbing the same chest in the same order as Spooty.
Yeah, surprising. After all this time, they're still kind of synced up in that way.
Yeah, they are. I mean, to be honest, check the 2 chests on the right side, and if you get a small key, do right side, versus if you don't get a small key, do all of left side to Ice Armos, is kind of the standard route for everyone. It's probably the most popular route.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's an interesting way to do the Mimic 1 room.
Alrighty, SpootyBiscuit moving into Moldorn 2. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna get bullied, or bopped, or pushed off the edge. Nah, easy peasy.
Oh, looks good. I was hoping for my slide whistle.
Oh, checking the last chest just for funsies. I mean, I can't imagine what he would be looking for at this point. A mirror shield, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, of all the stuff they've gotten, might as well 100% it, right?
He did it for chat. I can already tell.
Of course he did. Why does anyone check that chest, except for Chad?
Alright, well, at this rate, with butter and silvers, we're looking at like a 154, maybe? Maybe 155, so... That's insane for how much these players have had to do. I mean, of course, they were fortunate enough that they had good swords, like, for like a good portion of the seed. And, you know, being able to skip Vitreous and, well, yeah, they got to skip Vitreous because he didn't have an item, so. This wasn't technically an all-dungeon seed.
No, not quite. Almost.
So yeah, it's worth thinking, if one of these players had gone into pod, gotten that bow, they might have skipped that Cane of Samaria, because more than likely they would have gone to G-Tower, thinking, all right, cool, I'm in go mode, I have everything I need, and then just hope that they didn't need the Cane of Samaria. So we could have seen a completely different game.
Yeah, this could have been very, very different.
And that's just one of the fun things about Randomizer, is routing can make a big difference. Interesting that both players kind of pick the exact same routing, just switch places all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Butter Sword, easy Ganon, 6 slashes phase 1, 6 slashes phase 2. Red Tunic can take a few bats to the face, not a big deal. Moving into phase 3, 4 slashes to go. Will we see a double with the silver arrows, or maybe even the triple?
Ooh, the triple. Looks like Spooty definitely setting up for that first early hit. Alright, there it is. Getting the torch glitch too. Oh man, that's really good. 1, 2.
Oh, only 2, but getting a nice third pattern, and that's gonna do it. Ganon is dead. He's exploding. This seed is over. It's done. We don't have to talk about it except for these next few interview questions, but can we get a congratulations to SpootyBiscuit taking first with a time of 1:53.42. Wow. Wow. All right. That's crazy.
Yep, congratulations to him. That seed was insanity.
And we are going to go ahead and pull him in so we can allow him to vent a little bit. Welcome, SpootyBiscuit. Congratulations on your victory.
Thanks. Oh man, that is such a classic troll spot for the bow.
Yep. Oh,
so
man.
I'm assuming we both full cleared all the pendants and everything.
You guys did everything. The only difference, I mean, you even went back and checked in. It was funny. You guys pretty much did all the same stuff, just in different order, often swapping places. The big difference maker in the end ended up being Prier killing Landmullas, turning in the pendant, but instead of going into pod next, he went back to check the pedestal, which I don't know if he's already checked it once by that point, or if that was his first time.
Dang,
So-
that's like I was so torn about killing land molas after I found the second item in Mire. I almost went and did that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the worst choice. I mean, at that point, you guys really didn't have anything at all left. You checked pretty much everything that was possible.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I was just so convinced. Like, when we had all 3 medallions by the end of Kakariko Village, I'm like, okay, there's no way we're getting thrown all these coins and not having to go into Mire or Turtle Rock or Bowl.
But that's the thing. You didn't have to go into either.
Exactly.
Which is why it's hilarious. The whole time we're just like, we definitely felt bad for both you guys having to suffer through what a horrible seed. Though it is interesting at the fact that Key of Samaria ended up being required to find that big key. So Ice Palace coming through in the end. So imagine, if you will, had you guys routed differently, maybe checked pod early for some odd reason, and gotten that bow, and then go moded Ice Palace, it would have been a completely different race.
Yeah, that's like the other scenario that was going through my head when, like, I was entering Anne's Tower and he still wasn't done. Like, it's either, okay, he either did the same thing I did and, like, full cleared everything, or he found bow earlier, go moded through Ice and missed Kane, and is now, like, having to backtrack and look everywhere for that. Yeah,
it was a close race, and Prier coming in second place right now with a time of 1:56:31 as he walks through the door. So GG's to both of you guys. The fact that you did all of that and still kept it under 2 hours is just insane. So
sometimes winning a race is just about being able to 100% a seed more efficiently.
Yep.
Yep, pretty much.
Or 99% in a seed, which is what you did. Skipping that land mola. But here's the thing, like, it still could have came down to a G-Tower route, and had Prier not followed in your footsteps and done the exact same thing, he could have pulled ahead, But at the same time, check the 2 chests on the right side and then do full left or full right, depending on if you find a small key, is kind of it's the standard these days. It seems to be the safest route to make. So at that point, the only time you make a gamble is if you feel like you're really far behind or you're really far ahead. And I gotta ask, what were you feeling at that point? Where did you think you were?
I knew it was one or the other. I was either ridiculously far behind or, like, kind of even a little bit ahead. When we got to that point in Gan's Tower, I'm like, okay, I think I'm slightly ahead since he's not done yet. But it was so. Man, you can just never know, because, like, some people do those early pod checks without the bow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could have easily gone in right after Agate Tower.
Yeah, exactly. But I was kind of feeling like, oh, I got flippers and hook shot. I should go straight to West Dark.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was kind of funny. Both you guys did everything in the Light World before doing Agate Tower, except you skipped Agina's Cave. That was the only difference. So you had a slight lead going into Agate Tower.
That and Sick Kid, which I ended up, Mirror ended up being in Village of Outcasts, so that worked out.
Yeah, which was a very convenient time save. But yeah, like, one of you guys did Skull Woods, the other one did Thieves Town, then you swapped. But the thing about that hammer at Blind was Prier actually went back in immediately. So he had Tempered Sword for a lot longer than you did.
Yeah.
So finding that sword in Hera, we thought that was going to be your Tempered Sword and only sword. We weren't expecting you to go back in and check, but you did. And then everything kind of balanced out again, so...
Yeah, I'm seeing we've pretty much got the exact same equipment. We really did both full clear, huh?
Yeah, it was a very entertaining. You guys even both did the same hula hand trick to go check Zora, and then both you guys did a reset. So,
wow,
I think Prier might not have. He might just saved it quick. But yeah, you guys been hanging out a little bit or something. You guys been talking. Or something. Like, it's rare to see you guys, both players, make the exact same.
I do have to ask, has anyone seen the two of us in the same room together? Like, maybe we were the same person,
Okay. I mean, Prier's not on the mic right now talking to us right now, so that is a very good point, and I am thoroughly scared right now. But Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about this seed? Never again.
It's one of those ridiculously trolly seeds where like if you did that early pod check, it was an insanely fast seed for the most part. Other than you'd likely miss the Canaan Ice Palace, and that would throw you off. But
yeah, because I mean, prior to that, the last item you guys got was the Hammer from Thieves. That was like the next big. It was Hammer and Titan Mitts, and then Fire Rod chess game. So once you were done,
as soon as we were done with Thieves Town, it was just like, okay, we just need the bow.
Just need the bow, and it was at like around the 45 minute mark when you were looking for that bow, and then 45 minutes later you find it. So, but that's just first and 26. It conditions you to think, oh, cool.
First and 26 conditions me to go check pendant to rock.
It happens. So, well,
and then all you get is the powder.
Yeah. But yeah, congratulations on your victory. Now you are moving into round 4 at a lovely 2-1, while Prior will be falling to 1-2. So you are now 1 win away from grabbing that tiebreaker spot, and then 2 wins away from securing a spot in the next round.
All right. Well, good luck to you. If you got any last words for us, please share. Not much other than just screw that bow. Like that's all I can say.
And you got silver so early too, so you just had to carry those silvers everywhere you went. Man. Alrighty, well, thank you so much to both these players for putting on one heck of a show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, Herfy, for allowing me to join you on commentary. Shoutouts to Blastegg for tracking this beautiful race, and of course, shoutouts to Fiesel for restreaming. We got one more race coming up for you guys, starting, I think, in 30 minutes, a little less than 30 minutes. That is going to be over on this channel. So don't go nowhere. We'll be hanging out here. Yeah, cool. Get out of here. I'm going. Goodbye, Herpy.
Goodbye. Thanks for commentating with me. I can only repeat what you just said. Thanks to Blastegg. Thanks to Fiesel. Thanks to everyone else. Thanks to Spooty and Prier for running this crazy seed that was totally not trolly at all. And good luck on the rest of your tournament. And I hope you guys had fun with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.